Mike Mitchell has his power rankings from the best to worst. Let's get right into it. So, 40% of the XFL season is completed with 6 weeks left to play. Isn't that sad? All the hype and everything we've been talking about getting to this point, and now there's only 6 weeks left, 40% done. And after this week, they'll be halfway. Two teams are still unbeaten at the top of their respective divisions, while two others remain winless. So let's see how he breaks it down. Number one, and I totally agree, the top team, week 5 power rankings, the Houston Roughnecks, they are actually 9-0 in their XFL history after their best all-around performance of the season Saturday night in Orlando. Houston's 44-16 conquering of the Guardians marks the most points scored by a team in XFL history, dating all the way back to XFL 1.0 in 2001. Look at that, 44%. That is interesting. I did not know that. Most points scored by a team in XFL history. Mike Mitchell should know because he covered the XFL in 2001 because he was 2 years old at the time. Roughnecks rolled to a 20-0 lead quickly against Orlando thanks to the defensive score and red-hot offense that added extra sizzle. Of course, they had the double forward pass that everybody was talking about. And I am a huge fan. We've never been fans in sports of the offensive or defensive coordinators. I like A.J. Smith. I like watching A.J. Smith call plays. I think he is great, and he could be somebody moved in somewhere, one of the coaches that makes it, because I mean, if they run the table, AJ Smith could be a guy that teams are looking at. But the problem is, let's stick him like, okay, we come over and be whatever. You let him call plays. Let him call plays. So that was a 44-16. Number two, of course, America's team, as always, DC Defenders stay undefeated after a 32-18 victory over the Vipers. DC is now 6-0 all time at Audi Field. So you can't beat DC Defenders in Audi Field. Reggie DeBarlo deserves a lot of credit for the way his team has opened up the XFL season. It can be challenging getting 51 players and the hiring coaching staff to get on the same page, but they work together. From the outset, Barlow's defense has quickly established its identity. You're talking Greg Williams. He's a legendary defensive coordinator. And DC was just too much for Vegas overall on Sunday night. Now, DC is 4-0 in their division with a chance to go 5-0 in the North in Week 5, headed to St. Louis. Number 3. So you got the number 2 ranked team and the number 3 ranked team. Why? Because it's the St. Louis Battlehawks at 3-1. Week 4 in the XFL is all about the Battlehawks returning home for the first time in 3 years, and their return in St. Louis did not disappoint. St. Louis soared past the Arlington Renegades 24-11 in front of 38,310 fans. The total set and XFL attendance record surpassing the 38,253 fans at the San Francisco Demons home opener in 2001, which Mike Mitchell was not there. The Sunday's Battlehawks crowd was the largest for a spring pro football game in the United States in 3 decades, just to give you an idea, which is really awesome. Number 4, Seattle Sea Dragons, 2-2. That's tough. After a 15-6 victory at Lumen Field over the San Antonio Brahmas, the Seattle Dragons have blazed their way back into the playoff picture with 2 consecutive wins. Wasn't pretty. The Dragons continued to burn themselves with costly mistakes and inopportune times. So much so that head coach Jim Haslett jokingly threatened to kill his quarterback Ben DiNucci for that interception late in the game. Do you remember that? He's like, I'm going to kill you. Said that at the end of the game. But I think the Dragons are a team. The Dragons are a team, and they should be in the hunt. I don't have a problem with them at this level. Arlington Renegades, I agree with Mike here at number 5. They're lucky to be 2-2. They have a tough draw of any team in Week 4 because they had to go up against the Buzzsaw in St. Louis. Arlington played the role of sacrificial lamb, to borrow a wrestling term from the Dwayne Johnson. The Renegades did the job on Sunday, so they went down. They knew that. But Bob Stoops' squad talked up a good game, put a good fight, but ran out of steam, falling 24-11 to the Battlehawks. Sloter made some nice plays, and Arlington showed some progression in their passing attack, but 3 interceptions in a hostile environment did the Renegades in. I'm concerned. So Arlington needs to group and rebound quickly. They have 2 critical back-to-back division games against the Brahmas, starting with the trip to the Alamo Dome on Sunday night. I'm really curious. Does the Alamo Dome sell more tickets? They were there at the first week. How is Alamo Dome going to look after a couple of weeks? I'm really curious to see how their attendance goes. Number 6, San Antonio Brahmas. Al is not lost with the Brahmas despite their 1-3 start. They just need to start winning immediately, or they will fall for the wayside at the midway point in the season, because now we're going to start getting there. This 15-6 loss was another hard fought by San Antonio, but the Brahmas simply haven't been able to generate enough big plays on offense to pull through the games. Wards needs to consider making a switch at quarterback. I thought Jack Cohn would be the guy. Played a relatively mistake-free football, but the lack of downfield passing has clogged the Brahmas' ability to run the ball, which is what they like to do. Is Reed Sinnett a quarterback should be coming, but will San Antonio pull the trigger too late? They are facing a must-win situation Sunday night at home against Arlington. The Brahmas can't afford to fall back, especially with their attendance. If the Brahmas can win, that could be a big thing. And I think they can. And I think Jack Cohn's still a guy. We just have to – we'll see what happens during the week as San Antonio makes some changes on the offensive side. Vegas Vipers, of course, at number 4, changing their offensive coordinator heading into week 4, but they didn't really change their fortune. Again, tons of rain. You got 2 games with lots of rain. People were slipping around. You heard Rod Woodson talk about in the press conference about not getting the cleats. He's been asking for the cleats. You know, they are so close to putting it together. He was I was watching from the press box how pissed off he was at the coaches. Now, granted, it's on the screen. This guy's replaying it. I don't know. I don't think the refs are out to get you, but he's Rod Woodson, Hall of Famer. So he is a guy. So we'll just trust in Rod. But I think of the two of the teams that haven't had a win, I think the Vegas Vipers could easily be 2-2. Finally, we are who we thought they were. Guardians have taken so much abuse, all directions, that even misinformed. Is he okay? Mike's taking a shot. That's some people. I'll just skip that part. Orlando Guardians are 0-4. That's funny. Terrell Buckley's squad played Houston much better in week 4 than they did to open the season, even though the final score will tell you otherwise. They lost to the Roughnecks by 21. Yeah, they just looking bad. And there was a lot of penalties in the beginning of the game. It was just not a thing. And I think you're going to start to see, I don't think Paxton Lynch is playing bad. It's just everything else is not falling into place. And I really could see the Guardians games being flexed, as well as Vegas Cashman Field games being flexed to a lower tier, just to kind of get them off the television. And you should. You want to promote your top teams in the league. So we've got recap right here, and I totally agree with Mike Mitchell 100%. Houston Roughnecks are the team to beat. We haven't even beaten them before in the 2020. They're still rolling. DC Defenders at 4-0. Oh, man, could you imagine DC Defenders, Houston Roughnecks at home Monday night? It could happen. But they need to beat the number 3 team, the St. Louis Battlehawks, this week, and that is going to be tough. In St. Louis, probably with another 38,000 fans in attendance. We'll see there. Number 4, Seattle Sea Dragons. They have a critical game on Thursday night. We'll see how they do. They can get things going. Arlington Renegades, kind of that meh team. I thought Kyle Sloter would be a guy. I thought their offense would be better. They have 2 offensive coordinators. They need to dial it in and figure it out. Let's go. San Antonio Brahmas, I still think they could be a decent team at number 6. Number 7, the Vegas Vipers could well be 4-4. And then finally, we are who they thought they were, the Orlando Guardians at number 8. So let us know in the comments. Would you change this order? You think it's right point? We've got some teams. We know who are the big players and we know who the guys are down. But hey, the season is short. A change here and there could be the difference. And a team could make a run. We're just going to have to wait and find out. And really sad news, the XFL mourns the loss of a member of their athletic training staff. So the XFL, the Battlehawks and DC Defenders are mourning the loss of a member of the training staff. The league announced on Friday that Ben Siegfried passed away. Reports are that he died at the team hotel Thursday evening. He worked with the XFL athletic training department for the Battlehawks and Defenders. The league said that the Lebanon Valley College graduate student was, quote, an integral part in preparing the Battlehawks and DC Defenders for the 2023 season. Quote, the XFL family mourns the loss of our teammate Ben Siegfried, who passed away last evening. Ben, graduate student athletic trainer from Lebanon Valley College, working with the XFL athletic training department, was an integral part of preparing our Battlehawks and Defenders for the season. His infectious smile in the locker room and passion for his work will be deeply missed by all the players and staff who had the opportunity to work with him. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends. The Rock even tweeted something out. Anthony tweeted something out saying he, hugged his mom and brother. It's just a sad thing that happened. I mean, it's just sad. According to Fox 2 sports reporter Daniel Esteve, morning meetings were canceled, but the practice continued as scheduled on Thursday. He was in his early 20s, and a cause of death has not been released. So we at XFL News Hub and all of XFL Nation are praying for his family, friends, and players from both teams.